The first step in this project is obviously got to order the kit. This one I went ahead and got the black trim surrounding, that way it'll kind of match the headlight since it has kind of like a blackish surround on it. Now the first thing you got to do is take this off, which is held with just a bunch of clips. Just kind of be careful on it. The only part that you're going to need is about from this section to this section, because that's the one we're going to cut. The fog light itself is going to attach right here, which is kind of nice, same as the 2011 13s. But we're going to go ahead and put this back real quick, and then we're going to make a mark just to see where we need to cut. Let's go ahead and do that. The first step is put a marking right here just to kind of correspond with the fog light's angle. That way we'll know how to cut it, because you don't really want to cut too much. Obviously if you cut too much you can't put it back, so kind of do a little bit of diligence on this one, but this is just how I would do it just to be safe. So go ahead and take this off and then put the grill back. Here's a rough mock-up, so go ahead and cut a little bit more inward. That way I'd rather be able to fit it very tight compared to it being kind of taken off too much to where I can't put anything back. So cut a little bit inward right here and then start from there. I used a little Dremel just to kind of cut it out and try to get it as straight as you could possibly get. Doesn't have to be perfect, but as long as you cut it the way it should, you should be fine. So I'm gonna go ahead, this is pretty much trash, so we're gonna go ahead and mount the fog light and then test fit the piece that we cut. I went ahead and got some yellow bulbs. That way before you lock it in, go ahead and replace the bulb that came with it. You don't really need to do this, but I prefer for it to be super yellow. That way it actually works with the fog situation. Go ahead and test fit it. Make sure the plug plugs into it, and then go ahead and mount the fog light to the bumper. In the hardware, you're also going to receive one of these and 2 screws. You will go ahead and mount that to this location right here. Just slide it in. That way when we have the assembly mounted, we can have a screw driving to this opening right here just to kind of hold it. But I'm also going to add a zip tie to lock this in to the mounting tab right here, just for extra precaution. Other than that, that's all you really need to do. This little lip right here goes into this slot first, and then just slide everything in. As I mentioned before, the zip tie is just kind of there for a little added protection. That way it doesn't fall off or anything like that, since this is a modification in the year that it's not supposed to have it. So this is just optional if you want to do it. If not, doesn't really matter, but you're still going to drive a screw there regardless. So we're going to go ahead and test fit the other piece, and hopefully it fits there nicely. As expected, it's not fitting right, so at least now you know where to cut. Mine is hitting in this area right here, so I'm going to go ahead and trim that, and then basically just keep taking off as much as you can without taking off too much. This process is probably going to be the most time consuming. As you can see, I'm using a Milwaukee Dremel deal. Just kind of sand a little bit, test fit, sand, test fit until it's kind of flush. Like I said, don't take out too much, as you can't add any more once you take it off. After 15 minutes of constantly sanding this, finally got everything to fit, locked in. So like I said, this is the time consuming part, is trimming this piece. Obviously you don't want to cut too much. Like I said, you can't put anything back once you take it off. So I'm gonna do the other side and do it again. Here's the end result after you cut it. As you can see, it's not perfect, but you don't really need it to be. As long as it's there, secured and things like that, works just fine. At the moment of truth, this is the best part of the installation. It's taking off the plastic. I wish this piece went a little bit more, but like I said, this is a retrofitting, so it looks a lot better than I expected. So we're gonna go ahead and prep the harness, which I'm gonna go ahead and take the bumper off of that. This is the part that's kind of the downfall about this whole aftermarket thing. Either way, you have to take the bumper off, but there's gonna be a lot of videos on YouTube on how to take it off. I removed a lot of plastic stuff underneath, so I don't really remember how they even go, but I would advise look at some of the videos on YouTube. But I do know there's a couple of stuff on top, 2 screws in the side, nothing crazy. Like I said, the only downfall is getting underneath and taking the whole bumper off. So I'll go ahead and remove everything and show you what it looks like once it's all removed. First thing you have to take off is this cover right here. You're gonna need one of these panel removers. It's just held by clips like these. This one is the one you have to push up. That's the one that locks in right here, and you pull it up and then it releases the whole lock. Remove the 2 screws on both sides. I've got the bumper removed. If you remember on the previous videos, you have to install that locking clip for the screw, and here's that screw. That way the fog light itself is very secure in there. Here's the zip tie that I added just in case. I just don't want it popping off or anything like that, but this one you definitely want to add on. Now as far as the adjustment screw, it's right here. I might add like a little opening right here, or like a hole, that way I can just insert a long screwdriver in there if I do need to adjust it. So I already went and did the other side, so I'm going to do the passenger side one. Ended up not needing any type of hole. It's a pretty straightforward long screwdriver that could reach that. So once you get the screw in, we're going to go ahead and run the harness. Here's how I routed the wires. Zip tied it to the crash bar. I went ahead and tucked the other side going back there and zip tie it to the harness, and then make it go upward for the relays. Now for this particular way that we're going to do it, we're not going to need any relays. It's just going to be a signal wire and ground, since we are going to be doing an OEM style. So the relay you're not going to really need, but I just wanted to show you how everything is ran. Now you can run it however you desire, doesn't really matter. As long as it's away from the radiator or anything that gets hot, you should be fine. If you're not doing the same thing what I'm doing, you can just go ahead and run the switch inside, and basically I'm just powering it with a normal 12 volt. But since I'm not going to be doing that, I'm going to be installing the factory switch inside, and the plug that we're going to be needing is that right there. So that's the stock signal, which is that plug right there, but we're not going to mess with that right now. For now, we're going to go ahead and remove the relay and set it up to where it's only the signal wire going to the bulbs and the ground, and that's it. So here is the test fire at the moment. I went ahead and cut the relay. The only thing that you should have left would be the black and white. These are both the power and ground signal to the bulbs. So go ahead and put a little heat shrink butt connection in there, and once the switch from Honda arrives, we're going to go ahead and wire it in to that little guy right there, and then ground it to whatever ground bolt that I can find, which there's one down there. Otherwise, for now, that's all we got. So we're at a stopping point in the install. I'm waiting for Honda to deliver the actual switch, like the ones from the EXL, I believe, or the Touring, which has the factory fog lights. It's gonna have the normal turn signal, the lane assist, and the actual fog light on and off. We also ordered a fog light relay. This one's gonna need it if you're gonna use the factory one, which I'm gonna show you all that. But for now, it's gonna take a couple of days till I get back to it, but at least everything is ready and good to go once it's here. After about a week and a half later, finally got the new switch. As you can see, it has the fog light switch right there. Here's the part number. Where I ordered it, they did have to special order from a different warehouse, which is why it took a long time, as I ordered some roof rails for my van as well. So they had to wait for the switch to get delivered to them before they can deliver everything. So we're gonna go straight to the point and start taking apart the stock. To get this out, there's gonna be 2 screws on both sides. Go ahead and take those out. As I mentioned before, 2 screws on both sides. There's also going to be one here, and one here from under, and this whole thing just separates from the top. Now that we have the switch in place, you're gonna go ahead and unplug the connector from the back. Just squeeze it from under and then slide it out. Go ahead and take these small screws right here, and this whole assembly would just slide out just like that. Now we get to put the new switch. Same goes in reverse. Put the screw back in, plug it back in, and put everything back together. Now that we got the stock done, now we get to go ahead and put the relay in. Now I looked at the part number and cross-referenced it, and this is the part number that comes out of it. So it'll go to this location. And then I believe there's a 20 amp that's needed, which is the fog. So it'll be the third one up. See if we can match that up real quick. The 20 amp fuse will go to this location. And go ahead and put everything back. I went ahead and took out the ground bolt right there, which is a 10 mil. We prepped a sealed 10 mil ring right here. That's where it's going to go, and we have to run that to the ground signal of the fog light assembly. The plug that you're going to be looking for is that plug right there. It's going to have a tape. Obviously I already removed it so I can quickly connect it. So go ahead and cut that, strip it, and connect it to the red wire signal. Just to show quickly how I got the wires routed, it's going underneath, following this harness right here, zip tied, and obviously make sure you leave a little slack right here for the engine movement. Besides that, the ground is right below, as mentioned. So we're gonna go ahead and test it out. I did already verify that everything works, including the lane assist. So now let's go ahead and turn the parking light on. Got the headlights on, so we're gonna go ahead and kick on the fog light. And voila! Everything works as it should. So that was just a quick video and DIY if you want to try this. Like I said, you need a 11 to 13 fog light. You need the Odyssey fog light switch OEM. Besides that, that's pretty much it. So if you guys have any questions, leave a comment, subscribe. Other than that, peace.